After some time, Mercedes is finally starting to find some pace and performance in their car. The porpoising issues have hurt them badly, and it's the main reason why they are so far away from their two main rivals, Red Bull and Ferrari. However, it seems like Mercedes is back on track and the team will directly challenge these teams in Silverstone. Finishing P5 and P6 is almost certain for them, but the team has higher ambitions, and they are to fight with the fastest cars on the grid. The question has to be asked, can they keep up with the tempo of Red Bull and Ferrari? And can they pull some miraculous tactic to beat these two teams? Stick around until the very end of this video, as you'll be surprised with Toto Wolff's brand new strategy. Mercedes deserves some praise regarding their recent performance in the last two races. Although the team has struggled a lot, especially in Baku, with the porpoising problem, Russell and Hamilton were able to finish P3 and P4 in both of the races, with them changing the order in Montreal. Now, the FIA has brought some rules regarding the porpoising issues, and Mercedes may implement some of them in Silverstone to help even more with their bottoming out issue. The team's performance has caught the attention of the former Mercedes champion of 2016, Nico Rosberg. After Montreal GP, Nico said, "George has done an awesome job. Phenomenal with how difficult that car has been to drive. To be so consistent, driving so well, not making any mistakes, and always getting the maximum out of it, he has been brilliant." On Saturday, one would think, okay, keep it safe, bring home another P4 or a P5 in qualifying. But no, he said, "I'm gonna put my slicks on. I only care about pole position." That is really awesome, Rosberg said. And for Mercedes to perform better, they need Hamilton to step up as he did in Montreal. His teammate George Russell has been amazing through his first season in Mercedes, managing to not only finish in the points in every race, but those points finishes were in the top 5 too. He is the only driver on the grid with this accomplishment and is currently sitting 15 points behind Leclerc at P4 and is 34 points ahead of Hamilton, who is at P6. The next stop is Silverstone, and this is where things can get interesting for Mercedes as they look to show their true pace in the upcoming weekend. The racetrack is very similar to Barcelona and is full of medium and high-speed corners. Due to the Mercedes solution of porpoising, their car runs very low to the ground. Now, tracks that were a true challenge at the beginning of the season could be a blessing in disguise for Mercedes in the remainder of the season. Plus, the majority of the fans will be rooting for the Mercedes duo as Hamilton has won this race 8 times in his career. Chances that this track will suit Mercedes, just like Barcelona, have been recognized by Wolff, the team's principal. Silverstone was good to us in the past, and the circuit is smoother than the last 3 ones, but it's not Barcelona. We should manage our own expectations and just really grind away, look at the data, and come up with some sensible solutions. Not only for Silverstone, but going forward as well, said Wolff. But why should Mercedes fans expect good results from their favorite team? First, the track is not only similar to Barcelona in the corners, but the surface is much smoother. This means that the bottoming out phenomenon will be less present for Mercedes than it was in Baku and Monaco. That's why the car is expected to glide smoother through the high-speed Corps, Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel corners. Plus, Mercedes is counting on the controversial directive of FIA to bring another stay to the floor, known as the second floor unit. This particular part helps the car in battling out the porpoising phenomenon, something that the team desperately needs. This is why they've been the most vocal team in the paddock that pushed FIA to do something short-term regarding the porpoising issues, as it affects the health of their drivers in a major way. Mercedes has entered the season with a very innovative design on their side pods, known as the no-pod sidepod design. This is one of the factors why the car has suffered so much from the porpoising issue. However, chances of the second floor unit becoming legal may have to wait to see the light of day, as multiple team bosses have announced that they will protest the decision of Mercedes if they were to bring this design on their cars at Silverstone. Mercedes will be allowed to fit some upgrades on their car regarding the porpoising issues, and this will help them a lot, because their car has undergone a huge amount of experimental stints in free practice sessions. This was mostly because of the fact that the team had no idea how to run the car properly and which settings to optimize. The car that has undergone these experiments the most was Hamilton's car. This has severely affected Hamilton's confidence to drive the car in a proper manner, which was something that he said in one interview. He said that he hopes Russell will take the role of a guinea pig in tracks to come, as his car has been been much less undergoing experiments compared to Hamilton's car. We're just trying to work, we're trying to progress as a team. Moving forward, I think we'll be a little more cautious on doing too many experiments, as it really does hinder you through the weekend, especially if you only have practice 1 and 2 in the dry and don't get an FP3 for example, Hamilton added. Luckily for Hamilton, it seems like the team has found the perfect setup for the Silverstone GP. Now, the team doesn't have to test whatever they think would work the best in the simulator and then try it out on the car on Friday. That way, the team has gathered much needed data to learn how the car behaves on the track and improve in a certain direction. Now, the team has finally found that direction and can build momentum on it and become the challengers for the top spots on the podium. So far, the updates that Mercedes are planning to bring to Silverstone are still unknown, but according to Andrew Chauvelin, the Mercedes chief engineer, they won't be small and insignificant. The reality is, we've been updating the car pretty much every race, but fairly subtle updates in the recent ones, trying a few experiments. But Silverstone is one of the target events for us where we're gonna bring a bigger and a more visible package, and hopefully we'll make a step forward, says Chauvelin. He also added what the team is looking to improve in their car on the upcoming GP, as he said, not quite side pods, but we're looking at different front wings, rear wings, there'll be some changes on the floor, so a few other bits and bobs. But a lot of development this year is going under the cars where people don't see it, but this will be a bit more obvious to those looking. On the other hand, Chauvelin really puts his hope in these updates to bring them close to Red Bull and Ferrari, and most of the tactic revolves around them to bring them closer to the top. Well, we hope so. This team had a very good record of bringing updates that have worked, and literally year after year, everything we've made, we put on the car and it seemed to deliver. And with these latest regulations, that hasn't been the same. We've been working quite hard to understand those issues and we've made a fair bit of progress. But we don't yet have the level of confidence to say that we can go back to our old level of operation, where we can build things on and get on with the weekend. We'll be checking that this is performing as we hoped it should, finished Chauvelin. And from a logistical point of view, it's very good for Mercedes that they are bringing an upgrade on their home track. This means that the team will save a huge amount of money on transport and logistics, which with the new budget cap now seems like a real challenge for the teams. Similar to them, Red Bull is also planning to bring upgrades to their floor, lower channels, and orientation of the carbon fiber so that it will provide maximum rigidity without the use of additional tie rods. Will Red Bull continue with their domination as Wolff's tactic fails to catch up on them? Or will this GP be a turning point for Mercedes as they're looking to score big and bring back the momentum to their team? Stay on our channel to find out more.